First off, I'll just explain why I have a blue thumb. It's because I have a rash on the end of my thumb. I'm trying to heal. Anyway. So what I'm going to do here is I have a set of these bowls. They're intended to be a succulent bowl, like a planter for succulents. And and I've made them round on the inside so that they work better for that purpose. Have a hole in the bottom, of course. Rather than going through the procedure of trimming with a trimming tool, I'm going to use this gizmo that I made actually for cutting up bars of soap. That's a story for another day. So what we're going to do first, I'm going to check the bottom, see how much clay I have in the bottom, so I know where to make the most cuts. And quite a bit on the bottom, so I can cut in pretty well. Just like a cheese cutter, basically. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slice out of the side here, and I'm going to vary it because it's more interesting with little dips and hollows and peaks for this style I'm going for. So like a Japanesey sort of style. And the rougher the better, and I've got lots of meat on the bottom here, so I'm going to get pretty aggressive and take out quite a bit on the bottom, so lighten it up a bit. And there you go. Now at this point, I could stop and say, hey, that's pretty good. Or I could say, no, we can do more. I really like dividing up the space with shapes, and I try to get more on the camera here. What I'm doing is I'm going to make some pretty aggressive dents in here with this tool, slash tool. And it's just a piece of wood, so nothing magical. And you can press pretty hard. Here I'm trying to get pretty aggressive with it. And they're quite soft, so I know I've got some leeway. And I'm just doing pretty random shapes here. And at the end, I've got a variety of different textures. I like using shells. They're organic. They just give a great impression. Ooh, pun intended. And what you can do here to get more force on it, I'm going to put a sponge in the inside, so I can put my hand inside, and I can really apply some force to it. And another one over here where the bump is sticking out. Just hit that with some shell. Yeah, there. And then the next step is to apply some little feet. And at this juncture, I can also alter my lip a little bit too. And yeah, so it's going to have 3 feet, so that it sits balanced, and drill a hole in the bottom. It's going to be a planter, so water's got to get out. So that's it. I'll show you my array of bowls I'm going to work with. So here's the group of pots I was talking about. I didn't want to bore anybody with the throwing process. It was pretty standard on the hump thing. And here's some I've done over here, and there's the one you saw on the screen there. Anyway, there you go. Here's what I did earlier. This might even be the first one. I don't know. So simply you can take balls of clay and a little ball. Now it's very important at this juncture to add some slip. And if you watch any of the other stuff got on there, or seen any other pottery videos, slip is just a liquefied, softer version of the clay. And I'm going to add three balls here. And you want to work it in so it sticks. You can feel it right away when you're wiggling it around. It'll grab the. And 3 is a perfect number because it will define a plane. I told you that in science, probably, So I have three-legged stool will never rattle. Whereas four legs, as we know, is prone to those kinds of things. Now this is pretty soft, so I'm going to want to offer some support on the inside when I press it in. I could just leave it as a round ball, but that's kind of boring, so I'm going to make another one. I'll have to show off one of my stamps that I love to make. Here's the glue. There's the glue, just soft clay. And I'm going to have to bang it in here. I'm going to kind of guess where it's going to go here. Work it in, work it in. Come on, baby. What we're going to do here, I'm going to get a rough idea where it's going to sit here. And then at the very end, I'm going to apply one of my fancy shell stamps that I made. And that's going to give it a little extra shell decor, if you want. And all I'm going to do after that is, there you go, ta-da! And obviously they're going to flatten out a little bit, but I'll let it set up. All I'm going to do now is take a little brush of water and clean up these little bits. These look a little rude. So that's it. That's my quick little succulent bowls, and I'll have a number of them made. I'll just show you over there in a second. I made it myself out of one of these old coat hanger. A really sturdy one, not your typical run-of-the-mill, but this one is really sturdy and it's quite malleable. I found it not that hard to bend. I just bent the corners into a, U shape like that, and then I drilled two little tiny holes, one on that side and one on that side, and ran a wire across, wrapped it around, and actually soldered it there and there. And then I got a little wooden dowel. Boy, I can't figure out where that camera is. Wooden dowel there, a couple of notches in it like that, and then I jammed it in really, really, really tight, so it's very, very strong. And I added a little bit of glue in here, some crazy glue kind of stuff in here just to make sure it doesn't budge. So that's the story on the cutter. Originally made it to cut bars of homemade soap, so I've repurposed it for doing clay, and actually it works perfectly. I just thought you'd be interested in that. Thanks for watching. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you have any ideas for me, please leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to read them over and adjust my content accordingly. Anyway, thanks again for watching all the way at the end. I appreciate it very much. Bye-bye.